Jim Miller's Garden. Uh, what is it? I got a title here, No Rain Yet, but this is part two. Once again, the internet cut out on me. I should have switched the Wi-Fi off when I started and went with cellular so I can have a good signal. It looked like that interrupted the stream. I don't know where I left off. My 8-foot sweet corn. Well, that is 8 foot. Looks like it. And my tomatoes, beefsteak and celebration, and cabbage. That's going to go in the kraut. Going to be sauerkraut tomorrow, or starting of the sauerkraut. And my new corn, my 5th planting of corn that's come up. It's a week old about. And I had to plant a couple more seeds to try to get 3 in each hill. Okay. White onions, about ready to harvest. They may be gone next week if nothing happens. And I love these nightshades berries. All the stems are on. See, there's a certain one that the stems stay on, and I have to take the stems off to eat them. That one's hard. Phew. I have to bite it. Okay. There's a volunteer marigold that really wilts when the sun hits it later. And it's just going to have to pray for rain. Okay, we're over. I got one viewer. Little watermelon started. And there's the patch. And the nightshades have kind of taken over the area. Oh, here's some more ripe ones. Oh boy. I get a little thirsty. They kind of quench my thirst. Look at this, is about shoulder high. They're part of the tomato family, and they're not poisonous. And they show up in gardens. And look at see these big old cracks? We need some rain. And I've been spot watering the garden this week with rainwater, and I'm about out of rainwater, so I got my hoses out today and started, I did a little test watering, and I got enough hose not to go to Walmart and get a hose this year. And I got a good number. These are really in good shape. These are butternut squash. Some of them are, they're ready to pick. I mean, they're pretty, they might have to cure a little bit, but they're ready to pick. Where's that big one? And this big one here is almost like you see in a grocery. Every grocery's got these guys. And that one's about as decent size as the ones in the grocery, the bigger ones. And this one's, I've been making a pie, pumpkin pie. They're a little different tasting. They're good. They taste good. But that's enough there for probably one pie. So, and I got cantaloupes, hill here, and there's 2 there. There's one pretty good size there. And I need to search around. I need to put, there's others laying around in this patch. I need to get things, I need to get any, this plastic here or some other material, wood, a board, whatever, and keep them from rotting on the ground, especially if it starts raining, which is a good question. And here's the bean from the other side from the first video. I think I was going to show you the thickness of the vine. I think there's one here. That's pretty thick for a bean vine, but it'll get thicker. It'll get like a pencil thick, or a, what do you call it? A Sharpie pen thick. Eventually, if it holds true to other years. Okay, that's it with the bean. And look at them cracks. It rained 6 inches. Needs to rain 6 inches to fill that crack. And here is one of my good success. Pumpkins, jack-o'-lantern types. I need to cut that one pretty soon. What I'm waiting for is just a day or two and some time, and take them in the house. This one just pretty close. Got 3 viewers, got a thumbs up. Yeah, that's good. Oh, got some chats again. Lynn She-Wolf got some hearts. That's awesome. Oh, well, I don't know what was awesome, but but yeah, I got 4 pumpkins that are getting ripe, and I'm gonna bring the wagon down and cut those and take them in the house and store them until Halloween. And hopefully they don't like end up with a rotten spot, because if there's a rotten spot, they're going to have to go to the neighbor's livestock, whatever's around. And this hill here, these are acorn squash, and they're not very big because I planted them too thick again, and I'm trying to keep them alive through this. I water them and I try to keep the vines alive, so maybe we'll get some more later. And here's the other 2 pumpkins. So I'll have 4 pumpkins to take in pretty soon. Okay, am I still got a couple of viewers? Where are you? East Tennessee, in Sweetwater, next to the creek down there, Sweetwater Creek. So look on the map, Sweetwater Creek, across from Save-A-Lot. That's where we are. And here's my lettuce. I'm done picking lettuce, and I'm letting it go to seed. And some of it's starting to seed, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer for these other blossoms to fill and get seed in the pods. And I'll cut these tops, take them in the house, put them in a bag or box, and let them just sit there and dry out. And then I'll shell it out, and I'll have seed for probably 10 years with the way these look. There's a lot of heads poking up. So, and carrots. And I might take a look at one of them. They probably need to be dug. Ooh, that's at a big top. They're way down there. This. Okay. Oh yeah. I'm gonna move my hand. Try to get that stuff out of there again. Those are pretty good sized. Yeah. Might get 20 pounds of carrots if I don't watch it. And I don't see any bolting or going to seed, and I don't see any heat stress yet. But if it don't, it's supposed to rain Tuesday, a pretty good chance, but the last time they had a 90% chance, we got 200s. That's not enough. So I'm planning where, okay, if it don't rain, when I got to get these onions in, I got to make kraut, and then dig the carrots, clean them up, and find refrigerator space for them. So other years I harvest them in July when they're planted in the spring, so I'm not super late on it. It'd be nicer if it rained 2 inches to get that ground all soft so I can dig easier. And here are some squash that Nana we got our own hot pot where you throw stuff, you throw a soup base, and then you throw veggies in it, or meat too, and cook. And we cook like 5 or 6 people around the pot, and we throw our stuff in. What do we like? And Nana had a squash she liked, and I got the seeds from it, and I planted them, and I think there's 3 hills and there's 2 plants in that hill, 2 here, and 1 there. So there's 5 plants, and their vines are starting to extend out. They got a nice big area to sprawl out. I've been watering them every day to keep them, they've just been transplanted about a week ago. And they're looking good. They're kind of a light color for a squash, or they're not sick. That's just the color they are. And here is more of these cabbages. That one's gonna stay. This one's going in the kraut. These 2 here are staying. And I think all 4 of these are gonna be cut tomorrow. How big are you? Yeah, that's big enough. Me and Nana I'm gonna shred, and she's gonna put the stuff in, then we're gonna smash it in a bowl and throw in a crock and put the lid on and put a weight on it and wait, and hopefully there's some sauerkraut here 2-3 weeks. I don't have any fridge space to add all these cabbages. That's what I do. Others I cut cabbage and wait 2 or 3 months, and then we finally make kraut. But this year I just want to get it out of the garden, get in the crock, and get the kraut made, and then we'll have sauerkraut this summer. Okay. And here's my failed sunflowers. They're supposed to be like 10 feet high, but they decided to get mildew, mold, and they didn't grow at all. And here's a dead one. And they're putting tiny flowers on. I'm not going to get any seed this year. Boy, it's hard walking through when the nightshades are taking up all the room. And here is my tomatillos. These are seed from, I planted seed from last year, and they came up real thick. I got a nice row. I've been using these in the chili. They make the chili an interesting, good flavor. And I got more to pick for the next chili. So it's gonna be a tomatillo summer. And here's a couple volunteer tomatoes. That's kind of typical one right there. But this one, I forgot one. There's a ripe one right up there. And these are definitely cherry tomatoes that came from somewhere. I guess the birds were eating them. And they dropped their seed. There's seed here. Okay. And there's another dead sunflower. And these look really sick. Not a sunflower year. And here's Here's supposed to be a bell pepper with no peppers on it yet. And on my first video, I showed that I staked down my I put a rod or something and I tied the pepper to it, and I need to do that with these, but I have to get a shovel, dig in this hard ground, dry ground, and get them secured. This one probably really needs it because it's taller. It decided not to make peppers. These other three did. I've already put some of these peppers in the chili. You know, they were dragging on the ground and they get a little rotten end, and I cut the end off and I just throw it in chop it up and put it in the chili. And that one looks great. Got tons of peppers and that's looking healthy. And here's some cauliflower that's not very excited about putting a cauliflower head. So, I probably need to water these sweet potatoes. Look a little wilty, so they look like they need some bug spray too. I sprayed stuff on them last week. I'm trying to step around. And here's another volunteer tomato it took its time, but when it put tomatoes on there, they're really good size, so I'm happy with that one. And here's another, I might count these, another cherry tomato. Look at how these things grow. That one's got a dozen on it. And let's see, I don't know if I can count these. I've already picked one. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 2 dozen was on that stem. I've already picked one. 2 dozen on a cherry. I've never seen anything like that. And here's my lone cauliflower. Yeah, I planted a bunch of old seed. I think I got 9 to come up. And there's one here that's smaller, that's at the end of the row. And here's another I need to get these poled up. What I could do, worst comes to worst, is water this area down and get a twig and get a shovel and get a twig in the ground and pack it and get it secured. A good wind could knock that over. The sweet potatoes. Yeah, these up here, they look a little dry. They need to be, I guess, and I don't know how to approach watering them. I'll probably find, there's 6 hills. I'm gonna probably try to find the rocks where they initiated and stick a hose down in those spots for 2 or 3 minutes. Get a little water to them. Here's the rest of my first planting of corn. And I cut and most of these have been, all but one. I'm waiting on one stalk to, it just pollinated, and I don't know what happened to this one. There's not a kernel on that, and maybe I missed hand pollinating that, because once you get these late ones that are shorter and don't get much sun and they pollinate late, and then you lose track of them, and then that may have happened to that one here. I kind of watched this one a little bit more. That feels like it's got kernel. It's going to be a little dinky ear, the last of the, 2 thumbs up. and 9 watch, and that's great. And once this ear is done, I can cut these other stalks out anytime when I get a chance. And here's this poor marigold that this was grown right in the center of a potato hill, and I dug up the potatoes and I took roots and all, and I threw it in the ground and started watering it, and it's blooming. It was pretty dry looking this morning, and I watered it and it looks better. And here's some other marigolds, volunteers. This is kind of where they were last year. And so that's 10 watching. I don't know what to do. Show the pumpkins off. Look at this. Here's what a good looking tomatillo looks like. It's busted out of its skin, and it's ready to pick. So that one's going to go in the chili probably Tuesday if I have room for it. I've got frozen tomatoes. I got 2 more bags of frozen tomatoes, and Tuesday is when I'm likely to make more chili. And I got tomatoes from these volunteers that got ripe early, and I got a bunch of them ripening. So I'm gonna have plenty of tomatoes to throw in the chili, and more tomatillos. I might have to hold things back that are ready because there's just not enough room in the pots. So we'll see. And I'll show off these pumpkins and go in the house and cool down. And that's a beauty. I planted these bunch of old pumpkin seed. Heck, this seed from these pumpkins could be from 2017. These look like the ones I grew then. And I learned to put boards or whatever material I can find under them, because if they sit on the ground in Tennessee, they rot. In South Dakota, I never heard of such. With pumpkins, just let them grow and they sit on the ground and they won't rot. Here they rotted. And now I have to put stuff under the pumpkins and a lot of the squash to keep it from rotting. So this is about it. Nothing much. Get a good view of the sky. These clouds, I coined the phrase, these are Toy Story clouds. Like in the first Toy Story, those nice little fair weather clouds on that wallpaper. And that's just, I don't know, just something that I struck by it. And those are fair weather clouds. And I just tell everybody those are Toy Story clouds. So I don't know if that's been a term used by anybody before. And I'm looking over here at my raised garden that I used waste material at really no cost to build. And I got cabbage, tomatoes, all those are volunteers. I got sweet corn, and I got giant Marconis growing over there, and I got them all staked up this morning so the wind won't blow them over. And a lot of big cracks for the rain to fill. It might be, you never know. I've seen it. There was one year in Tennessee here. I think it was 2016 when they had the bad fires in Gatlinburg in the Smoky Mountains. It quit raining in like May, and it didn't rain until late November. It's not going to be like that, but once a drought starts, you just don't know when that next rain comes. It's supposed to rain Tuesday, 90% chance. But the last time we got 90% chance, we just got the ground wet. So I'm where there. I got my garden hoses set up. I'm ready to water as little as possible, but keep things looking good. Water directly at the base of the plant, and give it 2 5 gallons, maybe 10 gallons, whatever. And I use a stopwatch, a stop timer on the phone to just kind of calculate how much water I'm putting down. So instead of just like irrigating directly along the ground, which will take, I could water that corn, and I could take, it would be 200 gallons of water, and that gets expensive. So I would just, like this morning, I'd take the hose, and I would stick it on the base of the plant, and I would water for about half a minute. That's enough for a couple days, and I'll come back and do it again if it doesn't rain. So, and I pretty much had to water this new corn up. I come out here and water it every day, and hopefully this corn here will look like that in let's see, about 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. That'd be nice. All right. Oh, that breeze feels good. Well, let's see any new squash. And I got a hose connection here that leaks. So I put a leaky connection where the squash hill is, and it got plenty of water this morning. So, all right. And I think those tomato cages look pretty good here in front of the tool shed. Instead of, I think it was 2 years ago, I kept the mower in the house because there was too many vines in front of the doors. So I said, I'm going to leave the mower in the house because I can't get in the shed. And this year I planned, and I put tomatoes here instead. And so far I can still have a little alleyway for the mower and other things to be drug out of the shed. All right, I'm going to end on Jim Miller's Garden. Got a lot of viewers, 4 thumbs up. And I got, how many chats is there? Put mineral oil on the corn. Us. Oh. Well. See, there's people are talking about food. Okay, let's see. I'm going to read these chats. The weatherman, you can ask McDonald's. I eat for hours telling all the workers to give me more cheeseburgers, pretty little French fries. Okay, someone's had a McDonald's experiment. Okay. RLS is joking from a previous comment. Where are you? I'm going to take my car to the McDonald's. I'm going to eat till I... There's people that's hamburger. Okay, people are just... They're spamming. Well, a good time to get a Whopper is Big Whopper Wednesday. You can get a Whopper for $4. So get your Whoppers on Wednesday. Why should you be very discreet in a garden? Because it has eyes. Okay. Put mineral oil. Yeah, I had an earworm problem with my first corn, And I sprayed some Premise spray on the corn, this batch of corn, and I'll see how that'll work. Snails and slugs. For snails and slugs, make a space in the ground to place a pot. Oh, pot pans at the top is at the soil level, and put the pie and fill it with beer. You've got drunk snail. I haven't had many snail and slug issues. There were a few on the cabbage this spring. Hey, and no big issue with slugs. Okay, with a half cup of siphon spin sand and some water and a what? Is that a soap? Then add a gallon of sprayer. Shake it over, spray and spray. Okay, to kill it. Okay, yeah, there's different home remedies for gardening, and I'm learning some of them. Like the cabbage, I used the Captain Jacks, and I had one cabbage that had some worms on, or worm damage, and I guess I was waiting for the rains to quit, and they finally quit, and then I had some damage, and I sprayed the Captain Jacks, and I got rid of this wave of cabbage worms. And I think I got a tomato worm on one plant. I saw some damage on a tomato kind of early. But I sprayed it last night, and I'm gonna expect worm damage on tomatoes, in the next few weeks. And I read the right kind of spray for gardening. I think I used this Home Defense, which is not technically. What is it, Spectre? No, Bug Stop. There's so many different, but there's a certain one for gardening, and I'm gonna have to get a jug of it and spray on, especially I'm getting bug issues. So the sun comes in and out. Any more chats? I'm glad I got some chats out of this. 6 people watching, 4 thumbs up. And here's a marigold that's about eye level. A giant marigold. That's our neighbors grew some one year, and the seed blew on over, and it's been sprouting ever since. So, all right. I'm getting hot, and I'm gonna go cool off and have a bowl of chili. And Jim Miller's Garden. Well, thanks for watching. I may be out here next Sunday, who knows, and doing another video or two. Thanks for watching.